I can sew very fast and accurately, but some projects it's well worth slowing down and taking the time to sew. I find that I enjoy my sewing hobby a little more when I'm doing this, and I get a great fit and wind up wearing the clothes much more often. My plan for March was to have that big sewing month and to schedule long sewing days in the beginning of March. I have 3 birthday gifts that I really want to sew with a deadline of the 3rd week of March. Before we talk about the March sewing plans, I want to show you 2 fantastic sews I made for myself and a cute little pair of pants I made for our 3-year-old granddaughter. The Patina blouse I'm wearing today, I made in collaboration with Izzy from Dizzy Quilts and Sews. We both loved this pattern, needed to make some adjustments, the same ones, so we decided to collaborate and use 2 different methods to accomplish the same pattern adjustments, a full bust adjustment and a narrow shoulder adjustment. I love this. It has turned out so well, fits me just exactly how I want it to. In the video, I show you how I made the adjustments, and I have to say I've worn this already more times than I've worn the first version. So check out that video if you haven't already, and check out Izzy's. I will link hers also in the description box below. We had so much fun working on this collaboration that we're planning a few more this year. I think this was definitely worth the time it took. And when I say the time it took, it did not take an inordinate amount of time to make the adjustments and check the fit. I did a couple of fit muslins that were maybe 15, 20 minutes, pattern adjustments. All told, I think I spent less than 2 hours working on the fit before I got into my fashion fabric. This is a Lady McElroy cotton lawn. I love this. I have a tiny bit left over, not enough to make anything for myself, but I will definitely be saving it for maybe a waistband facing or pocket linings. I don't think I have enough for anything for the baby, but I'm definitely hanging on to this. I wish I had more. I purchased this from Minerva. I do have a Minerva affiliate discount code. I'll link it here and down below. It'll get you 10% off your order, and I do earn a small commission on it. The next make I have to share for you is my absolutely gorgeous Cashmerette Lygon Robe. This is so deluxe. This is one of the Cashmerette Club patterns. I used to be a member of the club. I found I wasn't making enough of them to make it worthwhile the membership, but I'll tell you, I love this pattern. I wanted a deluxe robe, and this one does not disappoint. I used a cotton sateen from Minerva. This is a Minerva exclusive Whispering Forest print in this fabric. Y'all, I just love it. I love the color of the trees. They fit really well into my color palette. And that fabric designed, the pattern on it, is just so pretty. This is one of the prettiest fabrics I've ever sewn with. Love it. So even though it was gifted to me, I absolutely would have purchased this. I did all the things on this. I wanted to make this really nice. I was using an exquisite fabric. I wanted a deluxe robe, so I didn't take any shortcuts. The weight of the fabric is very similar to a cotton lawn. Has a very nice hand feel to it. So I did interface the collar band, the belt, the upper pockets. Let me show you. Here they are. So the upper part of the pocket. What else did I interface? There was a lot of interfacing going on. Oh, and the cuffs. In addition to the interfacing, there was a good bit of chain stitching. And I also added the inner ties. And I used the same fabric. I know because I watched several videos before making this to gather information. Several people mentioned that they skipped these. I did not skip out on the inner ties because I do use them when I'm wearing the robe. When I tried this on, Charlie said, "Oh, it looks like you're going to a really fancy Asian restaurant." So I'm going to take that as a win. It feels luxurious. I feel so fancy, so sophisticated wearing this, and you don't normally get that feel from a robe. I did sew the belt loop midway on the back. That always bothers me, and I thought, what a great idea to attach the belt loop so it doesn't go missing. Got belt loops. It is just wonderful. I did not put a hanger on this because I think I'm going to always put this robe on a hanger. I can put this on the back of my bathroom door on the hanger, just the same as I can with the loop. And I want to preserve this as long as possible. I really do love it. Now, I'm not going to lie. I desperately wanted a luxury robe. I didn't really desperately want to sew this, and I kept putting this off. I was procrastinating. Even when I decided that, yes, that fabric, I was going to use it for the robe, I was still procrastinating it, and I'm glad that I sewed it. I sewed it in a size 20. When I was sewing it, I had that moment of, oh no. I thought before I added the collar band that it was just not going to overlap enough. Felt like it was barely overlapping. I hadn't sewn the side seams. I hadn't put the collar on, and I was really disappointed. But I trusted the process. I pushed on, and it fits beautifully. I'm so happy with it. I'm glad I have my luxury robe. I've been talking about making this robe for probably 2 years now, and now I've checked it off my list. And speaking of procrastination, I finally hemmed my flare jeans using the method that's been all over Instagram and YouTube for maintaining the original jeans hem. I wish I would have done this back in November. It was so quick and easy, and 100% it comes out as neat, as quick, fast, easy as everything you've seen. I'm going to link Whitney from Tomcat Stitchery's tutorial down in the description box. Honestly, this just took minutes, and now I have a nice fitting pair of jeans. So that was 2 big wins for me in February sewing plus fixing my jeans. I did a little crafty Valentine envelope tutorial on the channel. The grandchildren really enjoyed their heart envelopes. And I made our 3-year-old granddaughter a pair of simple pull-on pants. I sewed them in a size 4, the Children's Corner Parker pants. It's a simple pull-on pants, and I'm not sure if Children's Corner just runs very small or if it's because my grands run tall, which they do. But when I was making them, I was thinking, I don't know that these are going to fit. It's a size 4. She's a size 3. But they looked mighty short. I was prepared to alter them and turn them into a pair of shorts, but they hit her right at the ankle, and it looks very intentional and very fashionable at this time. She's not going to trip over them, so we left them how they are. Now, you can hear the cold in my voice, and if you've been following the channel, I've been really sick thanks to a little bug I picked up from my little bug. But she really does enjoy her pants. I brought a couple of patches with me. I thought she'd be interested in being part of the placement of the patches, and she was, and she loves those pants. I really do like that fabric, and I think I would like to make myself some pants out of that fabric. They pressed really well. It was great to work with, so I may be picking some of that up at some point. I would love to know how you manage your sewing projects. My plan of front loading the month with big long sewing days just didn't happen. I have been so sick, and I'm just now getting out. and I knew I needed to make some priorities with my sewing. I mentioned I had some birthday gifts that I wanted to sew, and I needed to put the first birthday gift for our youngest granddaughter as my #1 priority. And I am sewing her the Tegan dress by Violet Field Threads, and I've already made some headway on this. Let me show you the bodice. I've already stay stitched the neckline so it won't be distorted. I know it's so tiny. I'm using a Robert Kaufman linen cotton blend, and I've embroidered in a kind of tealish color a bow. Bows are all the rage, and I thought that would be really cute. This is a size 12 to 18 months, and there's not a whole lot of room here for embellishment. I didn't have a lot of this fabric left over, and I wanted to make her a dress and a doll dress. I know, who am I? I think this doll dress is probably going to take longer to make than the actual dress. The pieces are so tiny. Here's the bodice front. I'm making it for an 18-inch doll. Charlie and I are going to go shopping together to pick out the doll for her. I haven't told the kids that we're doing this just in case I hate making doll clothes. I don't want to set up any kind of expectation until I know whether I like sewing doll clothes or not. Let me know if you have sewn doll clothes, and if you have any tips for me, that will be greatly appreciated as I embark on this. I'm hoping that I'm going to love it, because when I got up into the sewing room after being in my nest in my recliner for a full week, I was so excited to get back to sewing and to remember how much I love sewing with those exquisite tiny little details on fancy little dresses. Now, I was going to embellish this dress a little more than I am going to end up doing, because I am so short of fabric. I could probably fit all the scraps from this project in one hand. I barely had enough to cut out my pieces. I did not have enough to cut out the bias strips or the elastic casing. I'm doing that out of another fabric, but I'm definitely efficiently using my fabric up. I wanted to do some pin tacks on the lower balloon of the sleeve, either closer to the elbow or closer to the wrist. And I didn't have enough fabric to do that, because I just had enough to cut out the rectangular piece, which becomes the lower part of the sleeve. When you're sewing pin tucks, it's good to start with a piece a little larger. Do your pin tucks and then cut your piece, because the first few stitches are just not going to look as nice, and also in accommodating for the difference in size when you pull up the pin tucks, it's just better to do it that way. I did not have enough fabric to do that, so sadly there won't be any pin tucks in this dress, but there will be some more to come later when I have more fabric. For embroidering this piece, I did cut off a piece a little larger than the bodice, centered and hooped up my fabric to do the embroidery detail. That fabric was not wasted that I didn't use for this. That went into the doll clothes. So very little waste in sewing this baby dress and the doll dress. The other birthday sew is for my husband Charlie. He loves the Kai t-shirt. I've sewn it several times for him. The fit is excellent. He's become a little bit of a fabric snob too. He let me know he wanted a t-shirt out of the good fabric. That's part of what he likes about my handmade t-shirts, is the fit is good on him and he loves the nice fabric. His project, even though it's a simple tee that I've made many times before, may get pushed to April. I did not forget about me. That is where most of my sewing time is going this month. I am finally tackling fitting a proper pair of trousers. I signed up for an advanced sewing class at 5/8 Seams, my local sewing store, where you can pick any pattern to work on and there's an instructor available to help you, and I am going to need some help. I really want to get a pair of trousers to fit me well. I have trouble finding trousers that fit well. Part of it is I'm a terrible shopper. I don't enjoy shopping. But even when I have made a concerted effort to go out and try to find a pair of pants that fits me well, I come up empty most of the time. Or I'll buy something and then as I wear it, the fit just is poor. They might slide down, have a little bit of a droopy crotch. It just hasn't worked out well for me. I have sewing skills, and now I have the interest in learning it out of desperation. I need some new pants, and I'm looking forward to this journey. I'm going to be taking my time, and that's why I'm taking the class. I want to really understand the why and how of the pattern fitting to get the trousers to fit me well. I'm going to be sewing the Thea Trousers by Tilly and the Buttons, and I know it's going to be a few iterations of muslins. It's a style that appeals to me. I like that it'll be a little more fitted through the waist and the hips and then go straight down. And I think there'll be plenty of room through the hips and thighs without it being overwhelming on my little more petite but full figure frame. I'm really looking forward to that. I want to take full advantage of the class. I know there's going to be homework. There'll be multiple iterations. I want to get all the feedback, and that is why Charlie's simple Kai t-shirt might push to April. But if all goes well, maybe I'll get that done. And I really have been enjoying sewing the baby clothes. So tempted to just run right up there, finish this dress and make another one. But I want to start preparing my muslin so that I take full advantage of my class, which starts on Monday. I think after the Thea Trousers, I would like to try the Lander Pants by True Bias. I already have that pattern, so stay tuned. We'll see how many pants I actually make. I am wanting to sew all the girly things right now. I don't know if it's spring or just that I had a week where I wasn't in the sewing room and I'm wanting to do things with the detail. I just want to sew the fun and frilly. I have had my eye on the floor dress by Fabric Godmother. When it first came out, I thought, oh, no, that's not for me. But the more I've been seeing it on different size bodies, seeing it made with different fabrics, the more my eye is caught by that pattern. Let me know if you've had the floor dress or the floor blouse. Have you sewn it? What do you think of the pattern? I'm very intrigued, but I am holding firm on not buying the pattern unless I know that I'm absolutely going to sew it and sew it right away. I have too many patterns already that I have not sewn. I don't need to add to the stash of not sewn patterns. What appeals to me about the pattern are the sweet ties down the front. Normally, I am not one that goes for a peplum, but where this peplum starts and ends, it gives it a fun, feminine, and modern look to it. Let me know what's inspiring you lately. What is making you want to sew and getting you excited? Right now, I'm thinking about the floor. I think it's the tie detail that really hit it off for me. While I was so sick and not moving out of my recliner, I did some research and planning some content that I think you're really going to enjoy. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything, and I will see you soon.